So I have this overgrown bed right here, and I've decided that this year I'm going to plant corn in it, mostly because I have these, what I believe are wild squash plants grown in here. Last year I had planted a couple of squash plants in here, and I guess I had let a squash rot in the bed, and so somehow through the cold winter, some squash have come back. And of all the plants that I have to plant, the only one I really have that's somewhat compatible with squash is corn. I'm going to transplant these pumpkin vines and all these corn stalks that I grew from seeds here in these cups. Alright, I got all the corn transplanted, and these two rows are a little bit close to each other, but it'll be okay. And now I just got the pumpkins left. And I know it's a little early for pumpkins, but here's my thought process behind that. So when I was a kid, my parents threw a pumpkin out in the yard and it rotted, and pumpkins started coming up the next year by themselves. So I'm hoping, just like this squash here that came up by itself this year, that these pumpkins will keep coming back if I let them rot in this bed. And with the corn, well, as long as it doesn't get too hot too quick, it should be alright. Last year wasn't a good year for corn because it got really hot, so they died off pretty quick. But the year before that, I got a lot of corn. But I planted them in the bed over there, and this year I'm going to do it over here. I grew peppers in this bed last year. And this bed over here is just a wildflower bed. There's a bunch of native wildflowers growing in here, and I planted more seeds this year. Last year I didn't touch it, and I just let all the wildflowers grow, and they got really big, and it attracted a lot of butterflies. But it also just got way overgrown with weeds, so I had to cut it down this year. And I started over, and everything's growing back, as you can see. This is just a space I reserve for just any pollinators or bugs or whatever that want to come hang out. And I'm not going to cut it again, and it's just all natural, except this salvia plant and this catmint, this red betterbuzz, and this plant right here. I can't remember what it's called. And the various flower seeds I threw in here, the perennial native seeds of this area. Yeah, everything's starting to come back and it's looking good. I'll have to plant these pepper, cucumber, and melon saplings that I grew from seeds, but I still have to till a couple beds first. So until then,